Here we're going to tie a fly called the Purpleback Baetis. First thing you're going to do is just get your thread started. Next we're going to take some Hackle fibers from either a piece of dry fly hackle or a piece of henback, and we're going to make them so the tips are nice and even. We want our tail to be about the length of the shank of the hook, so I just kind of roughly measure that out. I'm going to secure that hunk of hackle fibers to the hook. I'm going to take them back, making sure they're on the top of the hook, right in the middle. Take it all the way back to the bend. Then I'm just going to trim out the excess fibers and lash those all the way down. Now we're going to take our thread back to the tail. And we're going to dub a nice slim body. You can use gray dubbing. Some people like to kind of mix a brownish gray together. Gray works just fine for me. I'm going to dub that dubbing nice and tight. Taper the body as we go forward. Go forward all the way to the thorax region here. There, we're going to tie in a little bit of flashback material. If you want a more purpley Baetis, you can use some purple flashback material. I'm just going to use some pearl here. I'm going to tie that in right on top of the shank of the hook. Now we're going to dub the thorax. This is where I do things a little different. Instead of just using the gray dubbing on the thorax like a lot of people do, I actually substitute some brown UV dubbing. This has purple flash mixed into it. And we're going to dub a nice tight thorax, which is fairly difficult to do with ice dub. You really have to keep working it with your fingers to make sure that the dubbing stays in a nice tight ball. Ice dubbing is very coarse, which makes it difficult to deal with sometimes. We're just going to build a nice bulbous thorax here. There we go. We're going to take our thread to the eye. We're going to pull over that piece of flashback, secure it, and I usually trim out some of the fuzzies out of this coarse ice dubbing. It can be a little too much sometimes. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our hen feather and we're going to strip off all the fluffy stuff at the base, just exposing the tip. And we're going to cut a little notch out of the tip with our scissors, just like so. This is going to be our legs. I'm just going to take that feather and put the notch on either side of the fly, pinch those two pieces together and do a nice loose wrap over those legs and pull tight, and you can let go. Now I'm going to take my thread all the way to the eye, pull tight with the thread. I'm going to peel back that hen feather. What I'm going to try to do is just break off the tips of the hen feather. Could finish off the head here. Whip finish. And there is your Purpleback Baetis. Perfect legs sticking off of the thorax. Very effective little fly. It's usually tied different by some other people, but this is a variation that works very well for me in the tailwaters here in Colorado, also up in Wyoming. That's all there is to it.